Well, I'd like to say good morning, viewers, but today is not a good morning. Look what's back. It's Dodge Ram 16 Ram 1500 with the V6 that I changed the BCM in a week ago. Left headlight has gone out a couple of times on him while he was driving at night. It's working now. The signal light's working. The brake light and tail light on the right rear is working, but occasionally it stops, and that's the same symptom that it had with the original BCM. What is the likelihood that you can see the tail light is working now, but what is the likelihood that a second BCM would act the same exact way? I'd say slim to none, so it's got to be something else. If you recall from the first couple of videos, this thing wasn't setting any fault codes, so we're going to put a scanner on it and see if there's any fault codes related to lighting circuits. Now, normally Dodges will set, or Rams will set fault codes for lights out or light circuit problems, opens or shorts, but this thing wouldn't set those codes. So let's have a look and see what's in history. So I've loaded the vehicle record, click display fitted systems. Let's do a network scan again. I know it has a problem with the through-rate coolant valve and an evap system problem. Oil pressure sensor circuit problem. Now it had that wiper problem too, that wiper park switch input circuit problem. Exterior lighting power supply input circuit. That's a new code. I'm starting to think that one of the BCM power supplies is sketchy. I didn't have that B21F9 before. Now this BCM has updated software in it, likely or it had the latest software in it, so they may have addressed that. I'm going to look at the record from before. But note that there's no headlight code, turn signal code, tail light code, brake light code. But this is a new code, I'm pretty sure. Exterior lighting power supply input 2. Let's look at the vehicle history. So here's the report from November 30th when I initially scanned it. It had this halo lamp control circuit problem. It's got aftermarket headlights. They may not have the halo lamp. It did have the wipers park switch input circuit shorted, but no light codes, and that other code that we have now is not there. So that might be an enhanced code. Let's look at that. B21F9-13. I wonder if that's in Troubleshooter. So there was no Troubleshooter information in the Snap-on scanner, so I went on Identifix and I did a keyword search for B21F9-13. Exterior lighting power supply circuit 2 open. Let's see what it suggests. When the let's see here, that's the circuit. So there are 4 battery fuses, fuse 14, fuse 23, fuse 12, fuse 10. One of these fuses or its supply circuit to the BCM is a questionable. Let's see what this. When the body control module detects less than 1 volt on the A904 fuse B plus circuit. What's A904? Let's look at this. A904 is from fuse 14. So let's see if we can simulate that problem by removing the fuse. I'm going to clear the codes from the computer first off. I got to do that key on engine off, but I'm going to clear the codes. So I've cleared the codes. I got the key on and there's no codes present. But I'm going to start the vehicle and pull fuse 14. So fuse 14 is this 40 amp fuse here. Bottom left corner. There's no relay in that K11 location, but fuse 14 is that one. Now I've got the key on, I got a clean battery charger on it. And of course, the headlights don't work unless it's running. But I'm going to turn the headlights on manually. So there's no codes in the BCM now. I've cleared them. And I'm going to pull this fuse out. And guess what? The left headlight went out. We got the headlights on manually. No left headlight. We got a right headlight. No right tail light. I see no license plate light either. And what codes have we set? Exterior lighting power supply circuit open. Go figure. I'm not worried about the halo lamp. Let's see if the signal light on the right side works. Notice it flashes on the indicator at the normal rate, but it's not flashing on the front. And it's not flashing at the rear. No signal light. So now we know the problem is with that 904 circuit, but where is the problem? If you recall from watching the first video, I did lift this fuse panel and go after that connector underneath here, that X110 connector, and the lights came on. So I'm wondering if it's not this fuse. I'm wondering if there's a terminal problem on the bottom of that. Now the headlight did not come back on, nor did the signal light come back on. Maybe once that code is set, gotta cycle the key or something. Wonder if we can see the status of the voltage on the scan tool. So the B21F9 has gone stored. Let's clear the codes again and see if the headlight comes back to life. Got no headlight yet. That's weird. Unless it's shut them off because I got the key on. No, the headlight is off now. And the tail light is off now. And the fuse is back in. We don't have a code for that circuit, but it's not working. Well, I'm going to pull the fuse panel up and check that particular pin leaving the fuse panel. No headlight, but the code is not present now again either. I wonder if it has to be running or some silly thing. I just lifted the fuse panel 1/2 inch by releasing the plastic clips, and the headlight went on. So I looked in the schematic at what connector it is, And I believe it's this one right here. This particular 10 gauge wire. I'm moving the connector and the headlight's going on and off. So is that a problem with the pin grip? Let's take it apart. So this is the pin 21. There doesn't seem to be very good pin grip on that pin. And when I wiggle this terminal going into the fuse panel, the light cuts in and out. Unless the wire is compromised somewhere else. No green corrosion anywhere. So let's see if we can reattach that pin. It's actually not bad. So I'm wondering if the fuse panel is compromised, the pin on the bottom of the fuse panel. Let's plug it back in again. Let's plug it back in again and try. It's going, the headlight's going on and off as I'm wiggling the terminal. Yet the pin drag feels okay. So I'm going to bypass that fuse and I'm going to put an inline fuse in this thing. So I cut that wire off where it goes into the pin because I'm sure there's a problem inside the fuse panel here. And I wired in an external fuse, and I'll show you the finished product after. Soldered and heat shrunk it. So I'm moving the wires now. And the headlight doesn't flicker or blink. So I'm sure that was the underlying problem. So there's the finished product. It's an inline fuse. It's a 40 amp. There's the part number. I attached it to the main feed stud here because that's hot all the time. And secured it. It's got a sealed connector on there. So we'll put the cover back on this thing and call this one fixed. I guess it didn't need a BCM after all. So looking at BCM data, there's exterior lighting battery feed 2 and exterior lighting battery feed 1. And if I go back to fuse 12 is the other 40 amp fuse. Could be fuse 10. It's really not clear here, because there's 4 fuses. Fuse 14 is feed 2. But it could be fuse 10. Doesn't really say. Just says they're fuse battery plus. I'm going to experiment because I want to see what fuse controls the other headlight and the other tail light. I'm going to pull the fuse and see what happens. So it's fuse 10, and if I pull fuse 10, it kills the right low beam and the left tail light functions. All functions of the left tail light. And probably the left front turn signal doesn't work. That is correct. Left front turn signal doesn't work. So getting that new BCM and getting it updated must have enhanced the capability to set that fault code where it didn't have that code before. I never thought to look at battery feeds because the circuits in question were all different circuits. I was assuming they were common, and I was right, it was a common problem, but in this case, battery feed. I'm going to put that fuse 10 back in. Inserting now. So I bet you if we go into the BCM codes, there's going to be a code for the stored code. Exterior lighting power supply input stored. So let's clear the codes. I didn't clear them after I fixed that fuse. Go figure. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Tell me how you think I should bill for this.